Hello, happy Thursday. This is Katie with Cabot in Maine, and I'm excited to be here talking about not just one, not just two actually, but several of my favorite systems today. I'm super excited about the topic. And so we're thinking about doing this series. So let us know in the comments if this is something that you want to hear more about. But it is the title of the series, playing around with it, but it's the things you didn't know that you could do in TaxDome. And this will be part one. So that's what I'm here to talk about today. And if there's other things you guys want to learn about in TaxDome, we would love to continue this series because, as you know, we love TaxDome, and we thought that would be a fun way to just share some fun tips and tricks, things that we have found or have tried or know about that can make your life easier when you're in TaxDome. So I do have my notes written out here. I may try to share my screen in a little bit just to show you a little bit of what I wanted to talk about today. But what I'm primarily focused on today is something you didn't know you could do in TaxDome, potentially, which is to connect your TaxDome to lots of other apps and programs without using an integration within TaxDome. So you may or may not know, hopefully you all know, if you're in TaxDome regularly, or you have set one up, then you would know that there is an opportunity in there to connect your TaxDome to a handful of systems. So if all these words and whatnot are foreign to you, let me break it down a little bit. So TaxDome, if you're not using it already and you are in the accounting world, you probably should be using it. It's an awesome system. It has a ton of capabilities as far as workflows, automation, CRM, client portal, security, all the things that as an accountant you really need. So if you're not an accountant and you're listening to this, I think it's still good to hear because you can have an idea of what the potential is for a system. And that's what we always talk about when we do talk about TaxDome, is knowing what a system like this can do helps you understand the potential for what can be done. So what we want to share today is just a tip to make your life even easier and more connected. So like I mentioned, there are a ton of different systems, a handful, I should say, of different systems that TaxDome does integrate with. So if you're in TaxDome, there's a little button under your settings and it's called integrations. So the ones you'll see on there are payments, QuickBooks, Zapier, scheduler, and tax programs. So there's a handful under there that you can integrate it with. But the one I wanted to focus on today is Zapier. If you are not familiar with Zapier, Zapier is almost like, I think they call themselves like the glue of the workflows. So Zapier is connected to thousands and will be connected probably to even more thousands of systems and programs that allows them to speak together to each other through this glue, which is Zapier. For example, you can have your Google Sheets talk to your Dubsado, or you can have your Dubsado talk to your MailChimp. Now, natively, those systems may not typically talk to each other, but Zapier is kind of that glue that will connect your different systems through their tool. And the best part about it is when I'm talking about it, that might sound a little like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? But Zapier is no code. You do not need to code to be able to glue your systems together. And I think that's one of the best parts of it because, you know, we've lived in this tech world, for many of us, for so long, and hearing about technology, and you hear about coding and it sounds so intimidating, but then you start hearing about these programs that are super user-friendly that can be used to really help streamline your business and your life. And Zapier is just one of those, and it's a huge one because you literally can have all your systems or a lot of your systems talking to each other in a way that you never could before. So the things you didn't know you could do in TaxDome is you can connect TaxDome to other programs, other systems without having a native integration in TaxDome. So I wanted to give you a couple of examples of some of the connections that you can do using the tool Zapier. And those are called zaps. So the glue, the piece that will connect one system to another is called a zap. And I may try and show you that. I think I said, if I'm able to as well. So There are three main triggers in TaxDome that can trigger a Zap. And they're all, at least for now, centered around your contacts. I would imagine those would grow, change. They would add in additional ones in the future. But as of right now, the three main triggers on TaxDome side that can trigger a Zap and then trigger another action in another system are anytime you update a contact, you have a new contact, or you delete a contact. There are ways to have Zaps come into TaxDome as well. And those could be, again, focused on the contacts. You can have things coming into TaxDome or things going out of TaxDome depending on your need. So a couple of examples, you can automatically have contacts that are added in TaxDome added into your Google Sheets. You can automatically have an email sent from your Gmail. May not be necessary because we know we can do that in TaxDome, but you can. You can have it connect to your whatever email provider and update your contact in there. For example, we use Flowdesk. You could potentially, anytime you add a new contact in TaxDome, you could have that contact then added in to your email marketing provider and update your contact list automatically so you don't have to touch it. You can sync it to your QuickBooks. If you update your contact information in Zapier, you can in TaxDome, you can have it synced to your QuickBooks and update your contact in there. You can also do some Zaps within Calendly when people are booking a call with you. You can have Zaps that will update your, send out emails, of course, but also maybe connect and have a questionnaire that needs to be answered. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to connect one with the other. So one example that we were actually playing around with for a client actually. So, I just want to paint a picture so you get an example of what we're talking about here, what I'm talking about. So this particular client uses Dubsado forms on their website to bring leads in. TaxDome does not yet have the proposal process as part of their pipeline. I know that's in their roadmap, so hopefully soon they will. But for now, this particular client of ours will have a new client come in to Dubsado via a form on their website. They will go through the process, send them out a proposal. Now what they can do is they can actually set up a Zap to take that contact from Dubsado and automatically put them in to TaxDome. And you can have certain filters and you don't want to necessarily add all of them in, but let's say maybe they go from a lead to a client. You can have a Zap that will automatically create and update a client in TaxDome. So just an example to show you what is possible and the different things that you can do to really have your systems speak to each other and simplify your life. I would imagine in the near future, we will see more options there because Zapier is constantly making updates. They're constantly building out new capabilities and things like that. So I'm hopeful that we'll see more options. But it's so nice to be able to just streamline your work. And, we're all about saving time and creating efficiencies and things like that. So I would imagine over time you'll be able to do that. So let me pause this real quick and see if I can show you Zapier. So in case you aren't familiar with it, you can kind of see what that looks like. And actually, I lied. I cannot just switch it over really quick right now, but what I will do is I will do that in a future training. I will show you how you can build a Zap and connect it with TaxDome. So if you haven't gone into play, it's just zapier.com, Zapier, and you can even Google just like Zaps connect or Zapier connected to TaxDome, and you'll start to see some ideas. But just to summarize that, hopefully this is making sense. It's exciting. The things you didn't know about TaxDome, you can connect it to other systems using Zaps within the program Zapier to connect TaxDome to a lot of your other systems. I know I gave you a couple of examples. I know there are a lot more out there. You can connect it to a ton of different systems. And I would love to know if you're already using TaxDome, what are some of the Zaps that you've created in the comments? If you want to let us know, that would be awesome. And even if you don't use TaxDome and you're thinking about it, what are just some other Zaps that you've created? We create different ones for different things all the time. We love it. It's amazing. We do have the paid version just to allow us to be able to do a lot of that gluing together of systems. But we would love to hear from you how you're using Zapier in your business. And with that, I hope that you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and after I drop off some pizza at my kids' school, I will be back in here and going through the comments if there are any questions or anything like that. And I hope you guys have a great day.